Well, thank you so much for joining this live. Today is Monday, Veterans Day. I'm doing join TikTok and YouTube live today. So usually I do Thursday TikTok and YouTube live, and today, and then also I do Tuesday. But hey, thank you so much for joining. But lately, I've been out of office and moving on Tuesday. So I'm doing this on Monday. Hi, everyone, Veterans Day. Thank you so much for joining this, live Q&A. I will answer any questions that your questions. So then, Elias, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Can you apply for 45 without parole? Now, how did you enter the U.S.? Did you enter with a visa or without visa? Yes, please. I ask you every day. Yes, thank you. Just like clarify. Sometime when a lot of people ask the questions, I fall behind and then I need to scroll back. Okay. Yeah, so then Elias, you enter without inspection, right? Enter without inspection, and then looks like when you enter the US, the parole was not given. So did you get married to US citizen? Looks like you're talking 45, so you're talking about potentially a marriage green card case. But when you enter the US without visa through the border, and then not given parole, even if you're given parole, then you need to deal with the immigration court. So if you need a lawyer, contact us. You need to understand. Not just us, but all of us, immigration lawyers, were put back into, front line of protecting families together in this country. So many legal and then humanitarian visa cases put it into jeopardy. So we got a lot of inquiries, and then we do our best to answer and help you as much you can. But just be aware that if you need an attorney for your case, contact us and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Now, for those of you who joined this live with me, I'm Dr. Jae Francis. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Chicago, but serving all 50 states. Recently, I've been using computer for YouTube and then using iPad for TikTok. And then all the questions that I'm answering during this live come from TikTok for now. So I'm looking at other screen, scroll down. That's what I'm trying to do. But today, I'd like to talk about, keeping families together. I'm, making YouTube long form video as well. So I will share with you, but I'll try to talk about keeping families together, parole in place as much I can. Also, not only that, as you know, that the court struck down on November 7th, there will be potentially appeal by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. But think about this. When Trump's become president on January 20th, he may cancel it or ask his Department of Justice, DHS, to withdraw the appeal. So it looks really challenging whether it's going to survive as a program. Also, those of you who are in the US, TPS, right? TPS, humanitarian parole, for example, from Venezuela, and all this parolees, right? Even uniting for Ukraine, uh, everything's challenging. So if you are dating U.S. citizen, got married to U.S. citizen, I think that's the best option, right? If you're paroled into U.S., right, whether humanitarian parole or parole through the border or uniting for Ukraine, if you get married to a citizen, you have a better option to get a permanent residency. Yeah, excellent 47. You asked question. His question was, is it risky to go overseas with a 2-year conditional residency under Trump? As long as you don't have a criminal records, you'll be okay. But what happened during his first presidency was that the conditional residents who went overseas, even with the U.S. citizen spouses, were given hard time. So they're kind of harassed at the airport. But at least all our clients managed to come back safely. So it's a risky. It can be cumbersome, but as long as you don't have criminal records, you will be able to go back and come back. But that's what happened under his first presidency. His second presidency, anything's possible. So it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, now, yeah, and then Elias. Yes, you don't have a parole, you enter, and then you have a pending removal proceeding. Sometime, depends on when you enter the U.S. CBP didn't give you NTA, and then you got married to U.S. citizen. Just contact us, and then we will be able to help you navigating both removal proceeding and then dealing with the USCIS. Okay, Desha, how long the wait for family to file? Well, I mean, depends. It depends. If your I-130 petitioner is a permanent resident, it takes longer, and then I need more information. Okay, now, yeah, you're asking whether you can go to Canada, and then is a good option. I don't handle any Canadian immigration, so I'm not able to help you. Sorry. Okay, so SR, Ski or Sky asked the question here. Your parents are in the U.S., but they don't live with you. Now, and then I'm just wondering whether you're U.S. citizen, because unless you're a U.S. citizen, you're not able to petition for your parents. But I'm assuming that you're a U.S. citizen, then you need to be a A64, affidavit of support sponsor. So you need to be a sponsor. If you didn't make enough money or not making enough money, you need to a sponsor. So, and then I think that your question is 944 self-sufficiency public charge form. Obviously, Trump's not a president yet, so it's a little bit premature to talk about it, but it'll be asked. And then, yes, answer is that your parents need to show that they're able to support themselves. So what's the deal? What's the solution? Apply as soon as possible and hope that USCIS review your parents' cases before Trump's USCIS add 944 self-sufficiency public charge. Okay. Okay. Ivan asked. Okay, so then you're asking question about the K1 interview location, and then you'd like to change to Mexico. So well, when your K1 fiance is getting ready to attend the interview, right? Your fiance must have either residency or citizen or valid visa to attend interview outside of their country. So if your fiance is a Mexican national or resident or has valid work visa to work there, you can do it. You can do it too. Yeah, usually you contact National Visa Center. Yes. Ramjir, you're a U.S. citizen, and then looks like you're married and divorced, and you'd like to get married again. Yes, of course, you may do it. Depends on what you put it into your divorce proceeding, right? Because like if your divorce was clean, just like didn't work out, but now you rekindle your relationship, then there is no issue. But if the divorce decree has something about your relationship portraying in very negative, like ways, then it can be hard because USCIS, when they look at your case, they're gonna look at the divorce decree because divorce decree has all the details. Okay, now, oh, okay. So Ivan, so you have a K1 visa interview scheduled for Montreal in Canada now. I mean, that's where all the K1 cases go for interview. And then you like to change it to Mexico. Now, more than likely, it'll be in Juarez. It's gonna take extra time. You need to add 4 to 6 months on top of, any other consular post. So, if possible, if your fiance maintain residency or work visa in Canada, stay there. It's faster. Juarez, slow. Okay. Now I'm just reviewing this. Okay. Oh, I see. Even you're the Mexican citizen, your fiance is American citizen, and then I just wonder why you're in Canada. Like I said, you need a residency or valid visa to have an interview over there. If not, you need to go back to Mexico. Now, okay. So Jim asked, can you marry if you have a parole? Looks like you enter through the border and they're given parole, and then your asylum was denied. Like, did you attend, individual final hearing and denied, or was it with the USCIS? I'm not able to tell you, uh, today because I need more information. Um, if you would like to talk to me, I offer paid consultation, and then you will be able to talk to me. Otherwise, you can talk to one of us, our team members, but they're not attorney. They're intake specialists. So they'll get information from you. So call us, okay? Okay, so then K, you have a F4 sibling petition, and then you're in the U.S. in 1999, and then you're Mexican national. Okay, the sibling petitions takes quite some time, usually 15 years. But if you're from Philippines or Mexico, it takes extra longer. But unfortunately, F4 sibling visa cases do not forgive unlawful presence, do not forgive unlawful employment. So I don't know whether you maintain your status or not, but you need to consider that extra elements that's unique to a sibling petition. So, for example, if you get married to U.S. citizen, right, and if you enter with a visa, and then overstay or have an unlawful employment, then it'll be all forgiven. But if not, it will not be forgiven. Okay. Now, I have some other questions to follow. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Yeah, so, Garcia, you got married to U.S. citizen. You have a removal order against you. Did you ask the court to dismiss it? You need to reopen and then dismiss it. So, and then Tasha asks where we're located. We're based in Chicago, but we do cases nationwide. We have an office in Wisconsin too. So we're mainly based in Illinois and Wisconsin, but we do nationwide, all cases. So contact us. Okay, now, yeah. So then, Ivan, you have a work visa, a work permit in. Work permit and work visa is different, Ivan, right? The work permit is a temporary. Doesn't allow you to have an interview in Canada. But if you have a work visa, then yes. Okay, so there's a difference. Okay. Now, thank you so much, Ivan. Let me see. Okay, so then Sabor, select your asylum seeker, and then at the same time, you're saying that it was approved. So it means that your asylum was approved. Congratulations, right? After 1 year, you'll be able to apply for a green card, right? But illegal legal immigration will be subject to heightened scrutiny under Trump. So, but it looks like at least your asylum was approved. So congratulations. Oh, Garcia, they denied to reopen deportation. I'm sorry. Like, where are you located? Are you in the southern states like Georgia? It's tough to reopen, cases when they gave you the removal order. It's just like a tough over there. Malik Ali asked whether whether you like to apply for VAWA, Violence Against Women's Act, right? As you know, both men and women are eligible for VAWA, right? Now, yes, we handle all humanitarian visa cases, including VAWA. So if you need attorney for your VAWA case, and then case evaluation, contact us. Now, Val Nana, how long does it take? How long does 601 waiver, right? So 601 cures certain inadmissibility, and then sadly, it takes more than 2 years now. 2 years now, it takes long. Simida and ask what will happen to uniting for Ukraine. Now, I mean, we know what Trump feels about Ukraine and Russia. He talks about bringing the peace, but that's nice, right? But I don't know how he feels about Ukraine. So I don't know whether he's gonna cancel or not renew uniting for Ukraine because parole, right? You have a parole and TPS. TPS is something that Trump tried to cancel during his first presidency, and then he didn't prevail. Now, I mean, thanks to COVID and legal battles, Trump couldn't carry out many of his agendas during his first presidency. But we'll see how this goes this time because landscapes are different. Okay. Yeah, Basel, you have a TPS and approve I-130, and then you probably overstay, and then you're subject to 10-year bar, and then you worry about going overseas, TPS travel permit, and then come back and adjust. Yeah, this is okay. This requires legal advice, and then you should sign up for the paid consultation with me because, like I said, when you call any law firm, right, immigration law firm, and then ask this type of questions, they're either intake specialists or some of them paralegals, and then you know what? They're not able to give you any legal advice. Only attorneys like me will be able to assess and give you legal advice, and then what's the best way to talk to experienced attorney. Sign up for paid consultation because I have a link. You can sign up for paid consultation. Now, Adrian, you're French, right? And then you're wondering whether the Trump immigration will make K1 fiancé visa difficult. Answer is probably not. Out of all immigration case options, the K1 wasn't affected negatively by Trump's immigration. It was COVID that slowed down the K1. Now, but once again, this, public charge, the Trump implemented. So he implemented with adjustment of the status, green card cases with the form 944. And then they also tried to implement public charge for consular processes. It's called DS 5540, and it didn't go well. So I don't know whether he's gonna add consular process public charge or not. I will keep you posted. Now, okay. So Garcia, you're in Las Vegas, but your removal proceeding, you had a removal order on you. You tried to reopen and then dismiss, and they say no. Garcia, like I said, your type of question requires consultation with experienced immigration attorney. sign up for paid consultation. Okay, Malik asked follow-up question on VAWA work permit. So then the benefits of VAWA program is that when you apply and waiting for your VAWA petition approval, it's a two-step, right? VAWA approval, bona fide determination, and then VAWA approval, and then 45 approval. So it's kind of three-step. When USCIS give you bona fide determination, they will give you work permit. So usually it takes between 4 and 6 months after you submit VAWA/green card application. Under Biden, most humanitarian cases like VAWA, there is no filing fee. There is no filing fee, which is good. Okay. Okay, so I'm just reviewing the question here. Yeah, so then Alejo asked, how much is my consultation, my paid consultation? It's $150 up to 30 minutes. And then if necessary, I will include additional research. So 150. My rate is reasonable than others. Okay, so 150 up to 30 minutes. If you like to meet me in person in Chicago, Wisconsin, $200. Okay, so in person is $200. Okay. Okay, Dayani, sorry, maybe I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. So I got married, and then you learn that when you get married to U.S. citizen, then not only you can adjust your status to permanent residency, but you can get social and work permit. Answer is yes, if you got married to U.S. citizen. If you got married to U.S. citizen, and number two, you enter with a visa. Enter with a visa or ESTA. Because if you enter without visa or ESTA, or without parole, then you need to go with a 601A waiver. 601A waiver. Okay. Yeah. Maryam. Okay. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. So you potentially have a pending asylum case, and then you got married to U.S. citizen. Very common. And then we can help you, but you need to be careful, right? Yes. Answer is yes. You'll get a green card, but depends on what type of asylum case you have, right? If you have a affirmative asylum with the USCIS, then yes, you stay with the USCIS. But if you have an asylum with the immigration court, then you need to dismiss it. Now, we're talking about the removal proceeding with the immigration court today and then all the time, many times. What's going to happen after Trump come back is that it's going to be very difficult to dismiss your case. So this is why you should ask the court to dismiss or terminate your pending case if you have a better option, because under Trump, it'll be very difficult. Like what's going to happen is that similar to what happened during his first presidency, immigration judges will defer to DHS attorney, the government attorney, and the government attorneys under Trump's mandate will say no. They're not gonna support any removal proceeding dismissal. So you have about 3 months left. November, December, January. Try to terminate your removal proceeding if you have a better option, like got married to U.S. citizen. Okay, I think that I'm a little bit behind now. I have clients. I have viewers joining this live from YouTube, and then one of the main reasons why they join is obviously learn about what's going to happen under Trump, but also keeping families together, parole in place. And then I promise that I'm gonna make a long form video on this topic, but I'm gonna talk about it today. We're about 5 minutes left. So by now, you know that on November 7, District Court in Texas struck down the program, and they not only, just like all this explanation, but basically they say that parole and parole in place is a different. So what that means is that if you're paroled into U.S., so for example, advanced parole, DACA advanced parole, humanitarian parole, then sometimes you're just paroled through the border, then you may adjust your status because your jurisdiction stays with the USCIS. But the court say that if you look at the statute, the regulation, there is no reference that those of you who are parole in place would be able to adjust the status in the United States. Basically, the court is telling that you should do consular process instead of adjusting your status inside the United States. That's devastating. That's the big arguments. So one of the concerns that we have, Trump doesn't talk about this. National media doesn't talk about this. But those of you who are paroled into U.S., right, and then I will include TPS, because if you're on TPS and if you go overseas and come back with a travel permit, you'll be able to adjust your status to permanent residency if you got married to U.S. citizen. All of this could be jeopardized under Trump. It means that you probably need to do waiver, consular process. I think that more than ever, this will happen under Trump. So the Trump will try to compel those of you who are in the U.S., right, parole, TPS, all variation, go out and do consular process. For those of you who try to enter from overseas, this consular post will be screening, filtering a lot of people. So in a way, what the Trump is talking about, securing the border or shutting down the border, we're not just talking about border between Mexico and United States between Canada. Yes, that's the one he's talking. But at the same time, shutting down the border will happen through various consular posts. It can be Juarez in Mexico. It can be Islamabad in Pakistan. It can be Manila in Philippines. It can be Montreal in Canada. They're going to make it a lot more difficult to get all kinds of visas. And they're going to compel a lot of people to consular process. Unfortunately, he has many, many ways to do it. So those of you who have certain cases like a K1, DACA advanced parole, if you're paroled into U.S., humanitarian parole, perhaps from Venezuela, just it's time. Just before it's too late, just do it fast. And then for those of you who enter with a visa, overstay, you could put it into either removal proceeding or put it into deportation, mass deportation. I just posted TikTok video on mass deportation. Trump will go with either Enemy Aliens Act or National Emergency Act, and then he may declare national emergency, and then he may use military power to round up a lot of undocumented and then put them into detention center and then deport instead of putting them into removal proceeding. So for those of you who enter with a visa undocumented by overstaying visa or ESTA but got married to U.S. citizen, don't wait. Apply now. So sorry that I just couldn't answer many of your questions today because I wanted to talk about keeping families together, parole in place, and then those of you who are on TPS, and then humanitarian parole. Let me finish this. Going back to keeping families together, parole in place, under Biden, right? DHS, government may appeal, right? But Trump, when he becomes president on January 20th, he may cancel the program. Because remember that it was Biden's executive order telling DHS to implement parole in place back in August, right? So Trump, as a president, new president, he has that power. Also, he may ask his DHS, Department of Justice, to withdraw the appeal, because when the Biden's DHS appeal this decision, it'll go to Fifth Circuit Court. Obviously, the nature; they're very conservative, and then whatever decided by the court, appellate court, it'll go to Supreme Court, very conservative. So it looks very grim. I'm sorry, just babbling here. It looks challenging, but we plow through, soldier through. We find the solutions and try to stay together. So what I'm gonna do is that I will be churning out more videos, YouTube and TikTok. I will meet you Thursday, 5 p.m. Sorry that I couldn't answer today, but just make sure that you come back Thursday, because I wanted to talk to you about keeping families together parole in place, because many of you joined because of this. And also, whenever relevant, I'm going to talk about Trump immigration policies based upon what he did or tried to do during his first presidency. And whenever there's a relevant, credible information, I'm going to share them with you. But until then, I'll see you Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time. We stay in touch.